Soybean School on RealAgriculture.com is brought to you by BSF Canada and Syngenta Canada.
Hi, I'm Bernard Tobin. Welcome to the Soybean School. I am in Mount Bridges, Ontario at Chimo Farms, catching up with Dale Cowan, Senior Agronomist at AGRIS Co-operative, sir. How's it going?
It's going great. Beautiful day. It's nice to be outside.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about managing a crop like this. And Dale, I want to talk about, agronomists and growers working together, all this data that we've had, that we've accumulated, and how you're putting it together to make it work, to make, management decisions on a field like this. Before we get into it, we're going to talk about this field. Give us a snapshot.
Well, this is an 81-acre soybean field. It's a seed field. It was planted on May 15th. This ground is a sandy loam. There's a ridge through here that we'll see that's about 90% sand. So it doesn't show up until we're moisture limited. And so it was looking great there early in the season with all the rain, and all of a sudden the tap shut off for 10 days and the sandy knoll showed up. So thankfully it's only 5 acres out of the 81, so it's not a disaster. But it's one of those features that shows up every year. It's a bit of an aggravation when it does. But we know what it is, and we're not surprised by it. But this has historically been a very productive farm. So this crop is looking pretty good. Matter of fact, it won first prize in the Melbourne Fair. So
and we have a sign out front to show that.
Yeah, so we have proof.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk about how you're managing that with data. The myFS Agronomy app. Now, talk about what you're pulling into that app. Machine data, agronomic information. How's it all come together?
Yeah. So the app is, of course, mobile device, and so what we're starting to link and bring together, so farmers have always been, or a lot of farmers have been collecting the machine data, so planter maps, sprayer maps, yield maps, of course, have been a standard for quite a while, but in a digital format, for those that want to share, it's very easy for them to share a link with us. So when they do that, that imports into the app and automatically populates the field with the crop and the planting date, which starts the growing degree date calculation, which starts the growth model. Right. And so when it comes to working with the customer, there's a shared app as well. So the farmer sees what we see. Satellite imagery comes in every week. And so we've got a lot of other tools coming together to integrate into this. So we've got input from the farmer. We've got weather data to go with this. We've got our heat accumulation, our growth staging. So it helps us, even from a service provider standpoint, is I have a dashboard that tells me all my fields and what growth stage they're in. So if I'm thinking of, looking at R1 soybeans for fungicide, I just tap on R1. It gives me a list of the fields in the growth stage. So then you start to think that digital connection, all that automated data come in, is I don't need to chase a farmer, and he doesn't need to chase me, and we can communicate back and forth on the app. So all of a sudden we're just making it easier to communicate and transfer data. So for example, he doesn't need to remember when he planted anything, right, and I don't need to ask, or when he sprayed it, or when it was worked, all that stuff. So we got all that data at our fingertips. So when I come to the field, I can practice agronomy. Yeah. I don't have to play 20 questions with anybody. So now I'm here spending all my time. So it really shortens up a bit of the time spent in the field.
Let's talk about this field. Now, what you've learned from all these sources, how does it impact your management and your effective management of this field in the growing season?
Well, early on, we had a lot of grass escapes in here, so the advice was to get the grass under control with a Group 1, so that took place. Excellent control. There's really hardly a weed in this field anymore. Fertility was looked after last year, a very fertile field, so that's something we removed from the equation as being a limiting factor. Planting May 15th, nothing wrong with that. And considering how much rain we got this spring, I'm surprised we got it in on May 15th, but it's light enough ground, well drained, so all those things. And then, did the plant population counts. As I said, this is a seed field, so it's a little different from that standpoint. Fungicides are always used to protect the plant health, so we've had 2 fungicide passes on this field. And so right now, it looks pretty good. So I don't have a lot of concerns. We see no manganese deficiency. We got a couple sandy knolls we got some issues with, but that's a small area. Yeah. So
now let's talk about at the end of the season here. You basically have the ability to look at the plan for this year, how it worked out, and basically learn from this digitally about how you manage this in the future.
Yeah. So we did crop scouting reports. Have done a couple. We do a couple more yet. So then we've done our plant population. We've made our comments on weed control. We got pictures to go with that. So at the end of the season, we can sit down and say, what did we like? What didn't we like? What would you like to change? And maybe we don't change anything. Maybe this is the recipe. But there's always something that you learn. There's never a wasted trip to the field. You always learn something. But at least we have a record to look back on in May, June, July, and August when yield may have been affected by something back then. At least you got a record of it, something to talk about. And it helps to tell the story. And it adds value to the relationship between the farmer and ourselves. And the farmer can also do scouting in too, and add his own comments and remarks and drop pins and tag things of interest to him as well. So it's not just us being here. So.
Hey, final question for you, and that is, I guess, the evolution of agronomy here from analog to digital. We've been talking about this for a number of years now. You've been waiting for this point to arrive. Tell us about, how excited you are about what you can do now with that tablet and this information.
Oh, just getting connected with the customer, with his technology on farm, with our technology in our business as well, is you start to connect things digitally. So when you are out scouting and you see something, or maybe it's R1, you say, I need to get a fungicide on this field, so I just I do an order while I'm standing here. I don't need to drive back to the office. That goes to my office. My operations people pick it up. They do the blend ticket. They schedule the sprayer. Dispatch knows where the sprayers are. They put the job with the sprayer, dispatch the sprayer. And when the spraying job's done, the sprayer notifies the customer by text, just by marking the job completed in his cab on his monitor. It sends a text message to the farmer, says this field's now completed. So this whole thing is, not that we don't want to talk to farmers, but we're removing all of that conversation and note-taking and passing pieces of paper and have you done this and did you do that? When's this going to happen? It's all digital now. It's all traceable. It's all cataloged. And the communication is seamless between the different applications, and farmers included in the whole journey along the way. So it's pretty transparent. There's not a lot of mystery anymore.
Exactly, and pretty slick and pretty effective. Great story, Dale. I always appreciate you taking us to a field here on the Soybean School.
Yeah, it's
always
been
great
fun.
to have you.
Wonderful. Nice to be here. Thank you very much.